All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted political platform. Instead of focusing on solving our immediate problems as a nation, we are busy chasing shadows. Look at this. Lagos to Abuja bullet train to cut travel time to 3 hours. Nigeria's transport sector is set for revolution as the Lagos-Abuja high-speed train gains momentum, reducing travel time between both cities from 12 hours to just 2 to 3 hours. With feasibility studies completed and proof of funds secured, the project now awaits approval from the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission and the Federal Executive Council before construction begins. Idris said that the construction phase is expected to last between 48 and 52 months. He said its completion would promote the project as Nigeria's largest ever PPP-driven initiative and a benchmark for transport infrastructure across Africa. Now, this project is to take 48 to 52 months. That's the construction phase. Then other phases will come in. That's about 4 to 5 years. And if Nigeria says 4 to 5 years, in reality, it is about 8 to 10 years. How can you be contemplating an 8-year railway project when your citizens can't even feed today? This is simply an avenue to loot funds. This was the same way they proposed the 15 trillion naira project, the Lagos to Calabar Coastal Way project, began releasing funds immediately, demolished a $200 million worth property. Today, the project has been suspended. This is where we have found ourselves as a people, stuck with politicians who will never ever do us any good. And few hours ago, a very heartbreaking statement came out of Aso Rock. Those who still had faith in this government got the shock of their lives when a statement from Aso Rock admitted that Tinubu will never be able to get the Nigerian economy back to where it was before he came in. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that admittance of failure, a video of the chaos that broke out in the Senate hours ago began making the rounds. Senate President AKPABIO got into trouble again with another senator, and the ensuing event gave birth to chaos on the floor of the Senate. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. In this first video, former head of state Ibrahim Babangida, during his autobiography launch, expressed regret for cancelling the June 12 election that was clearly won by MKO Abiola. And of course, electoral fraud in Nigeria did not begin with Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Let's take a look at that video.
As the leader of the military administration, I accept full responsibility for all decisions taken under my watch. And June 12 happened under my watch. Mistakes, oversights, and missteps happen in quick succession. But I say in my book, in all matters we acted in the supreme national interest so that Nigeria could survive. Our nation's march to democracy was interrupted, a fact that I deeply regret, but Nigeria survived, and democracy is still alive, a testament to our resilience and commitment to progress. This book is part of my personal story of that encounter with national history. I did not travel alone. I undertook the challenging work of leadership in the company of many patriots. Many are still here.
You saw that. Now, Babangida is edging closer to his grave and he is looking back in regret. But for me, his repentance is not complete if he believes that what we have in Nigeria today is a democracy. For me, his repentance is also not complete if he is still saying that he cancelled the June 12 election in the interest of the nation. What he did was never in the interest of the nation. He acted clearly based on his own greed. And for cancelling a free and fair election, it is not too late for Babangida to go to jail. Is it? But of course, you know that nobody in that room can even think of punishing him because as we speak, electoral bodies in Nigeria have become worse. Indeed, there was a country. The next video here is just a pointer to the cause of the war going on between the PDP and the APC in Osun State as we speak. Local government elections are about to hold in Osun State this Saturday, but the former local government chairmen that were elected under the APC have forcefully taken over the local government secretariat against the warning of the governor. Watch this short clip before I tell you what is happening in Osun State right now.
Despite an order by Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke for politicians to stay clear of the secretariat, some chairmen and councillors elected under the platform of APC in 2022 listened with their supporters to the council on Wednesday morning. The Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Adewale Egbedun, described the development as unfortunate and complete disregard for rule of law and threat to peace in the state.
We strongly condemns this act of lawlessness and impunity. We want to make it abundantly clear that this state will not succumb to political banditry and unconstitutional actions.
The chairman of the People Democratic Party, Sunday BC, while briefing the press on development, said no amount of intimidation will make the people of the state succumb to any form of threat by the IGP.
The world must hold the Inspector General of Police accountable in the event of any ugly eventualities in Osun State. One wonders how and why the IGP sidetracked the governor of Osun State before taking a stand on the copies of the judgment at his disposal on the disputes over local government administration in the state.
Now, you saw that. After they took over the secretariat, fight broke out. And as we speak, Business Day has just reported that 8 persons, including a local government chairman, are dead. Saturday is the day of the election and 8 have already died. I wonder how many people will be left in Osun State by Sunday. And just in case you do not know, it is Tinubu's Minister of Marine, Oyetola, who is also the former governor of Osun State, that is working to install his own men as local government chairman in the state so that through them, he can continue controlling the state. The same thing another Tinubu minister, Nyesom Wike, attempted to do in Rivers State. I won't speak further on that. Ministers returning to their states to cause chaos. Is it evil or not? You be the judge. Now, let us look at details of the top stories. First is that heartbreaking update coming out of Aso Rock, the Tinubu regime admitting that Tinubu will never be able to take the economy back to where it was before he assumed office. And next is that update showing the chaos on the floor of the Senate as Senator representing Kogi Central, NATASHA Akpoti, attacked Senate President Godswill AKPABIO. Let's start by taking that update coming out of Aso Rock. Look at how the papers reported it. Food and commodity prices may never return to what Tinubu met before fuel subsidy removal. Presidency tells Nigerians, Sahara reporters. Bola Tinubu has announced that the prices of foodstuffs and other essential commodities may never revert to their levels before the removal of fuel subsidies, despite ongoing economic reforms intended to stabilize the economy. Sunday Dare, Tinubu's special advisor on media and public communication, disclosed these in a statement on Thursday. Dare noted that although Nigerians have experienced economic hardship following the removal of fuel subsidies, key indicators suggest that the economy is gradually recovering. The removal of fuel subsidy in May 2023 led to an immediate surge in inflation as the cost of transportation, goods and services skyrocketed. The impact was felt across all sectors, with food prices experiencing the sharpest rise. Many Nigerians have since struggled with the high cost of living, prompting calls for government intervention. However, in his statement on Thursday, Dare pointed to recent data from the National Bureau of Statistics, which showed that Nigeria's inflation rate had declined from 34.8% to 24.48% year-on-year after rebasing. Dare emphasized that while prices may not revert to pre-subsidy levels, they are beginning to stabilize across various sectors. He said, yes, prices are not back to the pre-subsidy removal regime. There probably may never be. That's the part that destroyed people. But prices of foodstuffs and other services are dropping across the board. Multiple independent market surveys have confirmed this development, he stated. You heard that. He said while prices have not reverted to what they were before subsidies were removed, and while prices may never get back to what they were before subsidies were removed. That is the part that completely shattered Nigerians. Because the narrative from this government had been that with all these reforms, there is a period of pain. Nigerians are going through labor pains, and after a while, they will begin to reap the benefits. And what are the benefits? That prices will begin to crash. But now they are coming out to tell us that we should never expect that. That things are never going to go back to how they were before now. What a sad reality for some of you. But some of us already knew from the onset that once those prices went up, they were never going to come down. And it is not like it is impossible to make prices fall, no. But there are certain things you need to do. There is a certain approach to the economy that you need to take for prices to fall. But sadly, these men are not doing anything in that direction. They are only after taxing and taxing and taxing Nigerians to generate more funds to loot. What a disaster. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that video on the chaos that broke out on the floor of the Senate began making the rounds. Senator NATASHA once again having a face-off with Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and this is one face-off too many. It has now come to a point where we need to get to the root of the matter, the root cause of Akpabio's animosity towards Senator NATASHA. Let's take a look at that video.
Senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
suspension immediately.
You saw that, and I saw there on the floor of the Senate. Now, it is not very proper to jump into conclusion, but like I have already said, this is one face-off too many between Senator NATASHA and Senator Godswill Akpabio. The last time Akpabio alluded to NATASHA being a nightclub lady. He says, stop talking as if we're in a nightclub. And today, they are having another face-off. But in her rant, Senator Natasha said two things. If you didn't hear these things, you need to go back and watch the video again. She said, Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of you. And when it comes to that point where she's saying, I am not afraid of you, it means there's been some form of intimidation behind the scenes. And then she said, I have taken so many things from you, some I will not like to say publicly. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, yes, I know you are, but we will not conclude. This is Nigeria. Give it time. The full gist will come out. But one thing is very clear here. AKPABIO doesn't seem to have any regard for women. The senator representing the FCT, Senator Ireti Kingibe, who is also a woman, has complained about AKPABIO not showing any regard for her. You know, she complained in the past. It's just a pity what the National Assembly has turned into under the APC. For the past 10 years, the Nigerian Senate has not been able to pass a bill. They've not been able to do anything that the people can say, wow, this bill will significantly improve our lives. They've not done anything like that. They've been going from one useless bill to another, the national anthem change and all manner of rubbish, seeking their own selfish ends. But I don't blame them. This is the APC-led Senate. I don't expect anything different. In fact, I expect that things will get worse in the coming days. It is Nigerians who bear the brunt of this mismanagement and this gross corruption in the system that I urge to do the right thing. Look at what is happening in Osun State. After claiming that you have given autonomy to local governments, ministers of the APC are now going back to their states, wreaking havoc because they want to install their own men as local government chairmen so that as ministers, they can be controlling the states that they govern formally. Oyetola is doing it in Osun State, Wike doing it in Rivers State. Yet, you want us to give Tinubu credit for local government autonomy. How long are we going to continue deceiving ourselves in this country? We need to just wake up to the fact. If all we want to do is destroy this land, then let us own it, or let us own up to it with our full chest. Instead of just masquerading, come out and own up and say, yes, this is what we want to do. We have taken over and we are going to plunder this space, instead of trying to deceive people. If Nigerians ever want to have a country in the near future, they must come together, cast their sentiments aside, unite, and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. Wey una go like? Why? Because now because of na I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.